Folks, you are looking at a man who has just woken up maybe half an hour ago. We'll see what the vibes are as we browse the subreddit AITA, otherwise known as Am I the Asshole? Let us start off with AITA for calling my girlfriend's mom gorgeous, thus causing a fight between the mom and the dad. Dang, you got a lot of power in that word, huh? I, a 23-year-old male, was meeting the parents of my girlfriend, 25-year-old female. The mom and the dad had invited, I don't know why this is relevant. I don't know why their age is irrelevant. I think at this point, Anyway, the mom and the dad had invited me over for dinner. I had brought flowers to give to the mom. Why? Did your girlfriend want you to do that? Is this your first time? You were meeting. You were meeting the parents. Got it. Not missing details anymore. No, I like to reread when I'm confused. I had brought flowers to give to the mom. When I saw the mom, I thought she looked gorgeous, so I told her in front of my girlfriend and the dad. She thanked me. Okay, see, I thought she looked gorgeous. I think the way that this is phrased right here is really important. I thought she looked gorgeous. I think that subtly implies she put together like a nice outfit and did her hair nice, as opposed to I thought she was gorgeous, which is like, it's a different... I don't know how to explain it well. Do you know what I'm talking about? I thought she looked, hey, you look gorgeous, versus you are gorgeous. Those are different. Right? So I think it's coming from an okay place. During the dinner, the mom brought up the fact that I told her she looks gorgeous. She asked me what I find gorgeous about her. Why are you doing that? Why are you asking this? That's, you need a compliment, huh? Your husband hasn't been complimenting you a lot lately? Is that the dealio? Wanting to be honest without being crude. Do the crude stuff too, man. Throw it all in there. Just really stir the pot. I told her eyes, smile, and hair. Okay, well that gets rid of my whole theory of the looks gorgeous thing. All right. She giggled and thanked me. She seemed both so flattered and so shocked. Then the mom turned to the dad and told him that I called her gorgeous, despite the fact everything had happened in front of him. She told him that she doesn't get called beautiful from him anymore, but she got called gorgeous by her daughter's boyfriend. All right. Okay. You ever go to a friend's house or people you haven't seen in a while? Any couple that you haven't seen in a while, and they start fighting in front of you, and all you can do is just sit there and just go, it's like you're out to dinner and they start fighting about something that you don't know what's going on. Like they start fighting about something that happened 10 years ago, and you're just sitting there like, damn, this spaghetti's really good, huh? Hey, waiter, come over here. Talk to me for a second. I'm uncomfortable. That's what this is. Are you squeezing your girlfriend's hand under the table, meeting her parents? Can you prod her? Can you pinch her on the leg and be like, hey, stop them. The cats are fighting. Stop it. There's got to be a way. It led to a big fight between the mom and the dad. And when my girlfriend and I got back to her apartment, she agreed that her parents' intense reaction had little to do with me and is mostly about problems between them. Agreed. But my girlfriend said that my behavior towards her mom was still inappropriate. What was he doing? Was he doing like old school cartoon effects where it was like tongue jetting out like a wolf in a cartoon? Was he going humming? He was staring at her. The boyfriend's like, whole wolf whistle action. She said even if her parents had a perfect marriage, it's still weird that I was flirting with her mom. Am I the a-hole? Were you flirting? You said, wow, you look gorgeous. I think gorgeous, I don't know, man. If I'm talking to, an in-law figure, I feel like I say, you look great. Wow, look at you. Look at your dress. Saying specific things. Look at that dress. I think calling out specifics is nice. And I think it kind of addresses everything at once. It's like, wow, your hair looks great. Did you just get a haircut? That is something that, no one's going to bat an eye at, I don't think. But once you go into the, wow, you look stunning. Like that's kind of a move, I feel. Not a move. It's not a move. It's just, I don't know, to each their own, man. So let's break it down. Was he flirting with the mom? I don't know. I think her asking, say more about that, like being like, so what's gorgeous about me, is a bit, she's pulling this poor guy along for the entertainment of her husband. She's doing that to show the husband like, you ain't nothing, boy. Look at what this young man is doing. You ain't nothing. Let's read the comments here. It says, it was a little weird for her to ask you to elaborate. That's what I thought. If she'd left it at you look gorgeous, there wouldn't have been any issues. The fact that she pushed it indicated she was looking for a fight with her husband and used Op's comments to instigate. Sometimes people just love to fight. People love to fight. I don't fully understand those people because it's like, come on, we're having a nice time. It's the first time. Some people love fighting during an important moment. Meeting your daughter's boyfriend, the perfect time to ruin everybody's experience. I don't know if it's because they want more attention on them or if it's because they just want to feel like it was a real blowout moment. Sorry, I'm scratching my ankles like crazy, dude. I got destroyed by mosquitoes recently, and I can't stop scratching them. Some people just love fighting during important moment, or like it triggers them. Maybe it's some kind of stress response that they have. I'll never understand that. I just don't. It's not cool. It's not fun. It's not interesting. It's not something that is like gossip or hee or like, remember that time when we fought? Like, I hate that stuff, dude. I mean, telling her she looked gorgeous wasn't an issue. Her asking you to elaborate was a little weird. I'd avoid any compliments going forward. Yeah, that's a good mood. In TA, her mom really shouldn't have stoked the flames, though. That's why they had the fight. If her husband never tells her she's beautiful, they're headed to a divorce soon anyway. Nothing to do with Dude, being caught in the crossfire is such an awkward situation. You're meeting them for the first time. I keep scratching. I keep scratching. Oh, how awkward. God, how awkward. Also, surprise microphone. Scratchy little boy. I'm a 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 scratchy little boy. All right, next story. AITA for flirting with another girl after my girlfriend introduced me as a friend. Me, 28 male. Girlfriend, 29 female. Have been together for more than 2 years. She's introducing you as a friend after you've been together for 2 years? Little weird. And y'all are a little old for this. You know, you're in your late 20s. That's weird. Why would she introduce you as a friend? And why would you be flirting with another girl? What is this? Y'all are going to break up. All right, moving on. We recently moved to cities, and she started to work in a new place about 3 months ago. 2 days ago was an after-work get-together event at a bar with her coworkers, and she forgot her phone charger at home, and her battery was low. I went to give her the extra power bank we have at home, as her phone uses the old USB type. As I went to her table to give it to her, one of her colleagues asked her who I am. That means she did not say, my boyfriend's coming along, he's going to give me my charger now. She didn't say that. She said nothing about her boyfriend. As I went to her table to give it to her, one of her colleagues asked me who I am. Before I could say anything, she replied, "This is my friend, let's call him Derek. He agreed to lend me the charger." I was a bit taken aback and looked at her and said, "Friend?" She just laughed and said, "You are so funny. Thank you for this." And waved to me as in implying goodbye. "You're so funny. Thank you for this. Thank you for this." Nope. What on earth is that? That's crazy. To be so dismissed like that with somebody that you've been with for 2 years and you're in your late 20s? You're in your late 20s acting like this? In front of new people? That seems a little relationship ending to me, personally. One of the other colleagues asked me that if I was free, I can also join them. And I said, why not? And I could sense the annoyance on my girlfriend's face. Yeah, because you're just a friend. You know, join them. Why not? People were drinking. Some talked to me and asked me questions, made conversation. What do I do? Where did I grow up? Etc. I should mention at this point that my girlfriend and most of her colleagues there were Chinese, and I am Indian. This becomes relevant later. Whenever someone would ask me anything related to how I met my girlfriend, she would pipe up to answer in a way that wasn't untrue, but completely omits any romance, giving the impression that we were just old friends. Okay, so they didn't go, how did you meet your girlfriend? They went, how did you meet her? So they never said girlfriend. This kept bothering me, and I will admit I was getting pretty angry. All right, so your girlfriend really does not want you to be known as her boyfriend. Nice. Then one of the colleagues who initially asked who I was, pretty drunk now, said girlfriend's name, let's call her Jessica, said Jessica never told us she had such a good-looking friend, and laughed. My girlfriend also did a small, polite laugh. I replied, I didn't know she had such a pretty colleague either, and winked at her, which made her laugh more, but my girlfriend became visibly upset. Hey, this is one of those play stupid games, win stupid prizes thing. Hey, you know what? If we're all pretending here, why don't I pretend with the best of them, huh? But I think certainly a fight was going to happen. I think the boyfriend just is like, you know what, let's make it interesting. Like, not in a cruel way, but just in like a, all right, he's just responding to what was given to him, honestly. Like, he's just responding to what was given to him. Another colleague said to my girlfriend, "Seems like you are an expert Cupid." My girlfriend was turning red, and I was also feeling slightly uncomfortable. So after a bit more chit-chat, I made an excuse and said, "I gotta go." The colleague said I should get her number from my girlfriend, and then I left. Oh, so now there's that dynamic now. So now the girlfriend knows that you have a shot at her colleague. Wow. This is a big old mess. Now when she came back, she refused to talk to me, and yesterday she angrily told me that I kind of cheated on her and hurt her badly. I replied that although what I did was hurtful, she also needs to own up that introducing me as just a friend was hurtful. She refuses to acknowledge it as wrong, saying that she is just socially awkward, and she thought that her colleagues might react weirdly to her dating an Indian guy, as they are all dating white or other Chinese people. Okay, yeah, so you just a little insecure about the race that you're dating is what that is. And you want your boyfriend to be cool with that, with you dismissing his identity or relationship to you because of his race. What do you call it when you treat people differently because of their race? What is that called? I forget. Her reasoning is that a lot of explanation and questions regarding interracial dating, and she wanted to avoid all that. Are you sure? Because one of your friends, who was Chinese, per Op's statement, was interested and was trying to get your number. So what's that? What's that about? I'm grasping at straws here, but maybe this girl, grew up with real racist parents and associates other Chinese people with these weird feelings, which is odd, and I don't think that's true, and neither does this guy. He says, I don't buy it. I feel she just wanted to hide the fact that she's dating me. We are at an impasse. I refuse to apologize till she sees that what she did was wrong, and she thinks she did not do anything wrong, and I was mean. AITA. Something's going on. She's avoiding responsibility for her actions, and I think this is one of those moments where it's like, oh, you're not proud of dating me? We've been dating for 2 years, and at around 2 years is where you start thinking, am I going to marry this person? You're in your late 20s. This is where you start asking the question, am I going to marry this person or not? And you, Op, this Indian gentleman here, is now aware that he's with somebody who is insecure about his racial identity. Dude, you're with somebody who is not insecure, but embarrassed, or doesn't want to have to explain a thing, blah, 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 blah. And I'm not an expert. Let me say that again. But unless she can grow up and grow out of this, that's not going to be the mother of your children. That's not going to be your wife. She's not going to be able to defend you when you're not around because she's embarrassed of your race. How cool is that? Picked a winner there, dude. I feel bad for you. Absolutely, NTA. Your girlfriend essentially erased your relationship to her new friends. New friends, I might add, who clearly didn't give a toss about your ethnicity. Give a toss. Your judgment was right. She just didn't want to admit she was dating you. Sorry, but that's a deal breaker. And for some reason, there's a little search bar here for deal breaker, as in people don't know what that means. I would love to buy this man a drink for the way he handled it. She didn't want him to be her boyfriend in this group, so he didn't act like it. Beautiful. NTA, but you're not going to recover from this because the incident clearly demonstrates the kind of relationship you have. She's ashamed of you socially. She'll keep you a secret, and you're not going to be able to progress in terms of commitment. If she's ashamed of calling you boyfriend, do you think she'll be willing to call you fiance or husband? Exactly. The father of my kids, dude? Is she so embarrassed by your race that she's not going to have kids with you? She's going to be embarrassed by her son or daughter's fact that they're going to be half Chinese, half Indian? This is a grow up or get out situation, 150%. NTA, the major red flag is her refusing to accept her own fault. Being socially awkward doesn't mean introducing your boyfriend of 2 years as just a friend. Yeah, also, I've been socially awkward before, and then I apologize for that awkwardness. I don't use being socially awkward as a defense mechanism to defend asinine behavior. I go, oh yeah, sorry, that was a mess up. I miscommunicate. I messed up. My bad. Social awkwardness does not give you permission to be a freaking weirdo forever. And being bothered to answer questions about interracial dating is just an excuse. That can be easily solved by drawing boundaries. Yeah, no, we're not going to talk about that. That's not why am I dating an Indian guy? Maybe that's none of your friggin' business. Why are you asking that such a weird question? And it doesn't seem as if she's the only one dating a foreigner. Some of her friends are too. Honestly, it's better to have a deep and honest conversation about this, as it seems to be a lot to unpack. If you kind of cheated, according to her, then by that same logic, she basically called your relationship quits. Interesting. Yeah, we're playing imaginary games here. All of this is imaginary. And you're getting offended by something that I imaginarily did because I'm imaginarily not your boyfriend. Huh? Weird. Isn't that weird? This person here says, so your girlfriend is racist and ashamed to be dating you? Why are you tolerating this? And the reply to that is, I'm wondering who at the office she's trying to bag, in my humble opinion. I mean, that's another thing. Maybe her coworkers saw her flirting with a guy at work, and it would be weird if she outed herself as being in a relationship of 2 years, which is also bad. The only outcome is bad. The relationship has to end because it's only bad. Yep. Grow up or move on. Grow up, get out. Grow up and get out, baby. I'm a scratchy little boy. I'm a scratchy. AITA for being honest with CPS when they were called on my parents. I, a 16-year-old male, oh, dude, I'm sorry you're writing this story, I'm sorry. Have a brother, 13-year-old male, and 2 sisters, 12 and 9. So you're the oldest sibling. Okay. Our parents are the kind of people who will help everybody who's anybody to the extreme. Usually I'm the one who has to give up the most for that. Like, they will let people stay with us when they're between homes or their house is getting work done or someone's visiting, and I always have to give up my room to guests if there's more than the guest room can fit. My siblings will keep theirs, and usually I will be sent to the living room. I went to my brother's room when we were younger, but not anymore, and there's no room for a bed in there anyway. Sometimes we could have like 10 extra people staying with us for weeks at a time? 10? For weeks? 10? Your parents have a freaking hotel, dude? You got one guest bed? Why are they offering their place to stay? 10. Especially if it's summer or Christmas, money gets tight because guests never have to contribute, and space is super tight because we're all on top of each other. My parents say that being the oldest and having my own room are the reasons I need to give up my room when my brother and sisters don't. Occasionally, a cousin or two the same age as my brother will share his room with him, but they share the bed and it's a really tight squeeze. When we started having people stay over more and more, I just got my sleeping bag and moved into the basement with a few things. The 3 nights since 2025 started when I could have slept in my own bed, I didn't even bother. And yeah, that's how bad it is. My dad's brother, his wife, and their 3 kids are living with us now, essentially. Dad's parents decided to come and stay for the summer, too. Then, one of the mom's friends started staying with us 6 weeks ago with her family. But then, my dad's ex-stepdaughter, he was married before mom and had no kids, but still talks to his ex's daughter, and her family needed a place to crash, so they stayed. That meant my room, the guest room, and the living room were full, and the basement was also, I think this is what that is, so I went to crash at a friend's house. When I was there, I told his parents, and his parents reported it to CPS and reported that I had not had my own bed in months and how I would get there starving because as the hosting family, we get to eat last at home. All right, we got a classic case of you are being raised by people pleasers or who are too people pleasing to where they can't set enough boundaries to take care of their own family. So they, like the last story, need to grow up or get out. Scratchy little boy, I'm a scratchy, scratchy. The song is irrelevant, but the vibe is forever. Yeah, you're hungry also? Having a sleeping bag in a basement situation, I'm curious, is that enough for CPS? If you don't have a physical bed, if you sleep in a sleeping bag, is that enough for CPS? But then you're hungry all the time. It's just awful, dude. And the fact that you have to make this Reddit post about it is just sad. CPS interviewed me and I was honest about everything. I told them why I went into the basement full time, about us eating last and everything that was going on. CPS warned my parents that they needed to have better accommodations for the 4 of us. I think they have to work with CPS for a few months now on stuff, take some classes, and we need less people at the house. My parents wanted to know why they knew certain things, and I told my parents I was honest with them. It pissed them off bad, and I told them that they effed me over all the time, so why should I care about the trouble they're in? Does that make me the a-hole? I'm spending most nights at my friend's house, by the way. Yeah, you know what? I think this is a situation where you did exactly what you were supposed to do. And, if you had raised any awareness or tried to raise any awareness of like, hey, I don't like this. This is making me uncomfortable. Please stop doing this. And they didn't listen to you. That's bad. I am under the current impression that they would not have listened to you regardless had you brought that up at all. I think because you're the oldest and it's your responsibility, you're supposed to get out of the bedroom and, give up your bedroom and sleep in a sleeping bag and go to the basement. Like, dude, what is this? You're Harry Potter in a freaking the freaking understowage thing of the staircase? You're living in the cupboard? That's not bueno. That's not good. So yeah, call CPS because a 16-year-old child should not be dealing with this. It should be grown-ups coming in and be like, hey, stop. I'm telling you to stop. And they need to take classes, and they need to meet with CPS, and they need to be ashamed a little bit. I think right now, their anger, their resentment is probably coming from being embarrassed. Hopefully it's from being freaking embarrassed that they're doing this stupid thing. They're hosting way too many people. They have no boundaries, and they're affecting their direct, immediate family. Like, stop. Grow up and get out. No, you're not the a-hole. You're 16. You're a 16-year-old boy, and you're also thinking of your siblings as well. If you're hungry and your family eats last in your house when they're hosting other people, dude, you're looking out for your siblings too, right? Your 13-year-old, 12-year-old, 9-year-old. No, they had to be called because it could get worse. It could get worse. They're slowly cranking up the temperature, and y'all are just frogs in slowly boiling water, and your parents are going to get blindsided by all this hosting and all the dopamine they feel for helping out their friends and family or whatever. Nope. Set a damn boundary. NTA, you may have done your siblings a great service. Your parents' first responsibility was to you and to them. Do they think they get some extra points in heaven because they neglected their children and helped other people? They won't. The only people actually entrusted with them were their children. They have failed. You kids are not the hosts. Your parents are. Yes, they could have eaten last, but they should have let children eat first. Also, notice how the parents never gave up their room when they kept adding people. They just keep adding the strain to their kids. They never once even offered to swap rooms with their kids. Not an actual solution, but at minimum, they should have swapped and gave the kids the bigger room to fit more beds rather than force op to the basement. They are actively neglecting their kids for the sake of looking good. And do you look good? Do you? With 10 extra people in your house at a time? I don't know, man. NTA, this is neglect. You didn't have a place to sleep or food to eat to the point that you had to go somewhere else. It is also a form of mental and physiological abuse. Please never feel like you did anything wrong. You were actually very brave to use your voice. I agree with that. Let's say that for a second. Very, very brave. Keep doing it, and please request family and separate therapy. If you're of the mind, give us an update later on. I tried to count up the current additional people: dad's brother, wife, and kids. 5. Dad's parents, 2. Mom's friend plus family, 1 plus question mark. Dad's ex-stepdaughter and family, 1 plus question mark. Family equals at least 2, otherwise Op would have mentioned the additional person. Total minimum, 13 guests plus family, 6 equals 19. This is a huge unbelievability test. How many bathrooms? The health department needs to assess the situation too. 3 bathrooms. One's my parents, and it's connected to their room, and nobody else uses it. Oh, so your parents get their own private little bathroom, huh? They get their own little bathroom? That's nice. That's nice for them. I'm glad they're setting a boundary there. That's good. It's important for them to have a boundary because they should have their own bathroom. You know what? We're just gonna be glad CPS is involved, and we're gonna move on. Why? Because I'm itchy and I got a scratch. Oh. Am I the a-hole for refusing to cut off my hair because my 7-year-old niece has cancer? The title probably already tells I'm the a-hole, which I probably am, but I just need other people's opinions on my situation. I am a 17-year-old male. Unfortunately, about 6 weeks ago, my niece got diagnosed with ALL, that is acute lymphocytic leukemia, which is a type of cancer of the blood and bone marrow. Considering she has pretty much had health issues since birth, words cannot describe how bad I feel for my aunt, uncle, cousin, and especially my niece. It basically broke their family apart, and even though I had never been that close with them, I really tried to emotionally support them, especially my cousin, to really let him know that I'm there for him, and that he can tell me whatever's going on inside his mind at any time, anywhere, which he's already done a couple of times. Now, I'll get to the point. Last week, due to the results of chemo, my niece's beautiful long blonde hair started to fall off, which they immediately shaved down. I'm not native English, sorry if I make this sound weird, but the next day, a group chat including the entire family was created where my aunt announced it would be wholesome if everyone shaved their hair off as well to show their support, including a picture where the 4 of them all smile without any hair on their head. As soon as I saw this, I thought it was wholesome, but doubted anyone else would do it. 2 hours later, I arrived home to see both my sister and my mother bald, followed by my other cousin and grandma. The next day, when I woke up and entered the living room, my mom asked, "When are you ready to do it?" while holding an electric hair trimmer. I originally thought it was something to decide on your own, but since everyone else is doing it, I'm kind of being pushed into a corner. I really don't want to sound egotistic, but I'm a guy with long hair, which over the years has basically become my personality. You're a 17-year-old, you're a teenager. It's pretty much the only thing about myself I love, and I really don't think I want to shave it all off. Okay, so this is where he gets his self-esteem from. It's a nice thought, it's a nice gesture, but maybe there's something else you can do in lieu of that. But then again, you're 17. You're looking into applying to colleges. You're looking into, getting started on the next chapter of your life. You're a senior. There's a lot of other stuff going on in a 17-year-old's world where they have to kind of prepare for the rest of their life. And shaving your hair off, while it is a nice gesture, a nice familial group gesture, if the hair is how you feel good about yourself, I don't know. We're going to keep reading. Yes, if I shave it, my niece could be shocked that her long-haired cousin finally shaved his hair off in order to support you. But if I have to keep things real, it might sound extremely rude here, but my aunt made a video showing my niece's reaction to my mom and sister shaving their heads off, and she did not even seem to slightly care about it. Video went like this. Aunt trying to show the picture to my niece, who is watching a cartoon. She has to tap her maybe 4 times to get her attention, and when she looks, she just stares at it, says wow, and continues watching her cartoon. Okay. I've seen this trend. We've all seen videos of this trend before where it's like, a lot of times it's a barber actually. I've seen a barber shaving their client's hair for cancer treatment, getting ahead of it. It's like, yeah, we're going to shave your head. And you know what? I'm shaving mine too. We're in this together. And it's a sweet move and it's a cool thing, I suppose. But, those people are a lot of times older, like grown up. A 7-year-old girl, who lost her long blonde. I don't know. Would it be weird if you're a child and you see everybody almost like mirroring your illness back at you? Like everybody, like that kind of gets rid of any illusion of normalcy you'll be able to have, is almost what I'm thinking. It's like a constant reminder of your disease. If your mom and your grandma and everybody in your family is kind of mirroring your baldness. Is that something? I don't know. There's not a lot that can be done to make you feel good when you got cancer in your blood and bones. But the family is trying, which is nice. I noticed after this video, my mom started to kind of become pushy towards me shaving my hair to show my support. Again, this might sound rude, but in other words, she wants to drag me down into the pit with her. This morning, I got a text from my aunt where she said it would be really nice if I shaved my head as well in order to show my emotional support towards my niece. If we have to keep things real, which I love that this is you saying, hey man, I keeps it real. Shaving my head will basically change nothing in the entire situation, but I can't just say no, can I? I seriously really don't know what to do. If my aunt would have shown a little more appreciation to my sister and mom, I would have probably considered it, but considering she did not even reply to the pictures and just immediately showed them to my niece as if you have to do it, I don't think I'm willing to do it. Don't get me wrong, I really, really, really love my niece, and even though I'm not that close with her, I always really cared about her and made sure she was always comfortable with me. And I have a lot of fun memories with her when she was a little girl. It's just that when they moved a couple of towns away, we started seeing them less and less. Okay, so you're not somebody who's with her every week or so. She doesn't have an ongoing close relationship with you. This is somebody you see every once in a while at like a family gathering or something, which could make the gesture less immediate. But then again, if you're a kid and you just shaved your head, do you want everybody around you to also have a shaved head? I don't know. Do you want to see that back at you? I think it's a to each their own situation. I don't know. I think it's individual. Like, what does the niece want? Not that it's up to her whether or not you shave your head. I'm just, this is a really tricky one. This is very odd. I'm curious what y'all are thinking out there, because this is really a pickle, isn't it? Ultimately, it should be up to the guy. This is what I'm thinking, is ultimately it's up to the 17-year-old kid. He's about to go off and do his own thing. He's also a kid, But really, what do I do? I'm almost getting threatened to cut off my hair by 3 people. And if I do decide to do it, what if no appreciation is shown? Yes, I would have done it to show support from my side, but if it's nowhere to be appreciated, then what is the point? This has 15,000 upvotes, 4,000 comments. This is really getting a lot of people, lit up. Let's see what the comments have to say. If I, God forbid, got cancer, I would find it extremely condescending. Showing support is not the same as a phone call or coming to visit. which is actually showing support. And this person replied, when my mom got sick and needed to shave her head, she was absolutely fuming at my brother suggesting it. As she explained, she felt bad enough without the reminder every time she looked in the mirror. She didn't need one while looking at her kids. Okay, so there is something to be said about it being mirrored everywhere. It breaks the illusion of normalcy that you could have. 5 minutes not thinking about your illness, and then you look around and everybody around you is bald? Okay, I was thinking that would be a little triggering. Is that the right use of the word? Not even visiting to show they shaved their heads. Mom and sis just had a picture sent. No wonder niece isn't impressed. Look, sweetie, here's a picture of people who did something that in no way improves your situation. Aren't you happy? No. It's a picture of my relatives with bad haircuts that I am self-conscious about when I'm not looking at it. Why would I want to see more of it? I understand wanting to show solidarity, but only after asking if that would help. If I was going blind, having everyone around me wearing blindfolds in solidarity would feel insulting. Wow, that is a hell of an analogy. Whoa. This one has 17,000 upvotes here. It says, NTA, it isn't exactly support if it's done under coercion. And nobody should force anybody to change their body if they are unwilling for someone else. This reply here says, removing hair is not very useful support if the niece doesn't value it. It'd be more practical to cook, grocery shop, clean for the aunt, niece, etc., i.e. actually assist. Maybe Op could offer that instead. I like this idea of trading the value, even though he's 17, he's a kid. But saying like, look, I'm uncomfortable with shaving my head, but what I will do is I will volunteer. I would love to, get a fundraiser going. I would love to this, that, or the other thing. There's so many other interesting, cool ways of showing your support to a 7-year-old girl than shaving your head, dude. Here we go. This is from the word of somebody who's actually a cancer survivor. They say, as a cancer survivor, don't do it. I never asked or wanted anyone to do that. It made me feel worse. The sweetest things that were done for me were sitting with me in the chemo room, making a memory quilt with photos and or old favorite clothing, t-shirts. 5 people with long hair got pixie cuts and had a wig made for me, cooked dinner so I did not have to, and held me when I was sobbing in pain and vomiting. Shaving their heads would not have shown me any support. Why? Because theirs grows back and mine wouldn't for over a year. When it did grow back, mine was not blonde and straight. It is ginger and wavy. Interesting final statement. Are you suggesting that your hair changed colors? I was thinking the same thing. Once everyone else's hair starts to grow back and the niece's doesn't, won't that make her feel extra sad? Okay, so everybody here is like, yeah, don't do it. It's not going to help. It's not helping the situation. But I think because you really, really love your niece, look into something else you could do. But yeah, do what you can. Support that kid, man. And hey, if you did this, if you ever did that, if you ever shaved your hair in solidarity and somebody had and that meant something to somebody else, great. That was your experience and that was their experience. That's wonderful, And it could be something that is really like a solid thing, But from what I'm seeing here, for this 7-year-old niece, this ain't really moving the needle here. So yeah, no, you're 17, you're a kid yourself, and you're being coerced by a bunch of grown-ups to shave your head when that's your favorite thing about yourself, is your hair? Yeah, man, no. And also, I'm a scratchy little boy. Hey! For those of you out there who eat while you watch this, check this out. I got me a vegan bagel here, dude. Okay, bagel with cream cheese, but it's vegan cream cheese, dude. This is for you. We're eating together. Watch this. They added way too much vegan cream cheese. Oh my God. This is too much, right? Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my parents meet my children because they didn't want me to marry my deaf wife? I like how this guy says he's on a burner account, like as if this won't get back to them, because that's such a unique situation, I feel. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's not unique. Let me keep reading. I'm a 29-year-old male. My parents didn't see that my wife, 28, has a big heart and has an awesome personality or how beautiful she is. All they saw was that she was deaf. I asked them how ignorant can they be. They argued that she will pass her disability on to any children we have. Is that true? Is deafness a passable trait? Genetic factors are thought to cause more than 50% of all incidents of congenital hearing loss in children. So yes, it can be genetic. Interesting. Long story short, they said they won't accept her into the family. Oh, wow. What a cool family Really? What a cool, ableist, stupid-ass family. Long story short, they said they won't accept her into the family. I said, then you aren't accepted into ours, and any children we have, they aren't going to get to know them. Jessie cried when I reluctantly had to tell her why they weren't attending our wedding. I hated them more for that. Only my sister, 29, came, and she's the only one I speak to, but I haven't spoken or seen my parents since. We now have twins. You got twins? A boy and a girl. They are both hearing. My sister came to visit and said our parents found out about them and asked her to ask me and Jessie if they can meet them. I immediately shut that down, told my sister to remind them that they rejected Jessie at first and they can F off. My sister later texted and said they both want to apologize. I said it is too late. I told Jessie about the request. She said maybe we can reconsider and take it slow. Okay, so the wife is forgiving. My friend said it can be the healing and closure I need. I don't know if I want it. I don't know if they are wanting to see my children because they found out they are hearing. I don't know if I'm being selfish and only thinking about how I feel. AITA. Here's what I'm thinking right now, currently. You want to protect your kids from your parents who have really warped opinions, right? And that's fair. That's good. This is not an a-hole situation. This is a complex family dynamic where you should reach this conclusion with your wife. I think it is equally her decision as much as it is yours. And I think that's something you two create your boundaries, create your awareness, create a rule book, a rubric for you two to decipher whether or not you want those parents in them babies' lives. Because it's nice to have met grandparents or at least know who they are or put a face to the name. But if they're horrible people, it's nicer to not have met them, probably, right? What a turd sandwich of a situation. And the fact that they didn't want you to marry her because she was deaf. Like, what is that, dude? That's so weird. It's eugenics, isn't it? At a certain point. This top comment here with 19,000 upvotes says they can come when they have learned sign language. I actually really like that. I like that idea. You know what? You want to be a part of these kids' lives? Show effort. Because then if you're learning sign language, you're going to be around a community of people who all know hearing impaired people. And you're going to have to cross that bridge. I feel like I'm in the minority here as far as cutting people off and all this stuff. Because look, setting a boundary and removing people from your life entirely, a lot of times is the solution. It is the solution. I also believe that some people are capable of growth and change. Some people. I am of that belief. I really do, I believe that people can change. I believe that people can grow and change and turn from ableist turd sandwiches into allies, because who better to convince wrong parties that they're wrong than somebody who used to have that belief system? It's like, hey, I used to think just like you, but then blah, blah, blah. I think people can change. Now, is it your responsibility to make these people change or to get them to see no, it's not your responsibility at all. You're not an a-hole at all. You're trying to protect your wife. You're trying to protect your kids from shallow thinking grandparents. This reply here says, I'd ask for an admission of what they've done and apology in sign language. If there's clear contrition and effort in learning sign in order to fully accept his wife, then let them apologize to her. Then have a discussion of how they'll be introduced to the children and the role they'll play and boundaries that need to be respected. This person here says, NTA, if your kids were deaf, they wouldn't want to meet them. Exactly that. Do we think that's true? Maybe. I don't know. If you didn't have hearing kids, they never would have reached out. They still don't want your wife to be part of the family. They only want access to the grandkids. Your wife is not an incubator. She deserves respect. Yeah, that's a good point. NTA, keep these toxic people away. Imagine years down the road, kid, grandma, why do you never interact with mommy? Grandma, because she's deaf and not worthy. Wow. When people don't understand other communities, they alienate them. They push them away. They go, I don't want to be a part of that. So you've got these grandparents who are like, I don't want to be a part of a deaf family because then I got to learn things and I got to change. I got to change my behavior and my belief system. People are resistant to change, and it comes out in ugly, ugly ways because nobody's comfortable with being uncomfortable nowadays. And on top of that, if the next kid is deaf, then they won't be involved either. How awful for that child to grow up as the discarded grandchild. NTA, but keep them away. Everybody here is saying NTA. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Hey, listen. Hey, you watching this right now. You're probably not going to be the type to be like, you better not marry this person. You're probably not that type. But if there's an inkling of you back there, if there's an inkling of you who feels like you would banish your kid from the kingdom because they're about to marry somebody who doesn't align with your beliefs, careful what you wish for. Careful how you deal with that. Can I get a just love them in the chat? Just love them. Again, the song is different, but the vibes are there. And for those who are hard of hearing, in the back, for those of you who know sign language, how's this?
I'm a scratchy, scratchy, scratchy little boy. 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 I'm a